Are you somebody that is running your business, but you find that your limiting beliefs keep holding you back? Or maybe you're just somebody that knows that you have some old stories and trauma that your subconscious mind keeps bringing up to the surface and they're really holding you back in your business. Well, you are in luck, because in today's episode, we're going to take you through how to reprogram your subconscious mind so that you can dominate in business. And this episode is absolute fire. I love it so much. It's one of my favorite episodes that I've recorded. It's actually a podcast episode, so the quality of the video isn't amazing. Please forgive me for that, but the content is so good. I promise you, you're gonna want to watch to the end, because G, who I'm interviewing, is just absolutely amazing. But before we jump in, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get weekly notifications as to when I put out new content. I'm going to be creating a whole bunch of videos around mindset, personal development, basically anything that's going to help you become a better version of yourself. So make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell. Okay, let's jump into the episode. Hey guys, and welcome back to episode 16 of the Millennial Business Podcast. I am so excited to be joined today by my amazing friend, someone who I met out here in Bali, and I feel like she's just going to be one of those friends that you meet and then is just a lifelong friend. Gregoria, or G as I like to call, well, as you told me to call you for short, because Gregoria is a little bit hard to remember sometimes. Thank you for joining me on the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
I met G out here in Bali. She came here for 2 months, and her friend Alexandra completely impacted my life. And since they've left, I've had multiple conversations with other people around how they also impacted their lives, because when you came to Bali, you were really such a strong force in connecting the community here and really bringing everyone together. And that is such an amazing thing that not many people have the ability to do. And so I would love to sort of move into, I know you really help people with reprogramming their subconscious mind. And that's something that I really struggled with when I first moved here, because I had a lot of limiting beliefs. I still have limiting beliefs, obviously. Before I started in the personal development world, I didn't even realize what a limiting belief was, or that I had them and that they were holding me back. So do we maybe want to start right from the start? And could you explain to the audience, if they're not aware and maybe if they're not into personal development, like what a limiting belief is in your subconscious mind? And then maybe if you could move into how you can start to reprogram them, that would be amazing.
Okay, so the first thing is that, again, it doesn't matter what your belief system is, but this is part of my truth. So my belief system is that we chose this physical experience. So us as energy, before the physical three-dimensional plane, we chose to embark on the roller coaster. It's like we signed up, we saw the roller coaster ahead, and we're like, that's for me. I'm a thrill seeker. I love creative expansion. I want to sign up for that ride. So we chose this experience. And the truth is that limiting beliefs don't ever diminish. So we are human, and the human part of us, although we are spiritual beings, and the majority of us as energy is spirit. Okay, so imagine a ball, a sphere, and 95% of it is spirit, and there's like a little speckle in the middle, which is a physical matter. That is us, our physical vessels. Okay, so we are much more spirit than we are physical, and yet the physical part of us is what controls the conscious mind. The conscious mind, although serving when it comes to creative expansion, it also creates limiting beliefs. So a limiting belief comes from conditioning, and it's not our fault through the way we've been raised, our environment, the people around us, even something we observed as a child, media, society, all of these things program us to think and to feel and to behave in a certain way. Like, think of the best example, in a tangible example, is the American dream. Okay, everyone wants that white picket fence. They want their husband and 2 kids, and they want this picture perfect world. America, I know the media, and even within Australia, they spent millions of dollars advertising the American dream. All right, it was something, and that is programming. They're planting the seed in your brain, and through repetitive exposure, that seed grows because they're nurturing the seed. And again, you think that it came from your own thought patterns, but it didn't. It was planted in there for you. And you know, even when you think of today, modern marketing, so you think of watching all these Apple commercials and all of that, and why do we stand in a line for hours to buy a $1,000 device that really you don't even need? A limiting belief has been programmed within us to think and feel a certain way. So what my job is to take people through the journey where we uncover what the subconscious belief is, the limiting belief that's holding you back from living a fulfilled life, because no one wants to feel like money is limited. Like, that's not what we actually want. If we think about from an outsider's perspective, you want to believe that money is unlimited. You want to believe that we live in an all abundant universe. And that is actually the truth. We live in an ever abundant universe, and nature proves that. Okay. We don't need to do any other research beyond looking outside your bedroom window. Nature proves that we live in an ever abundant universe. And if I believe that I am of the same energy that created the entire universe. Now, again, if you're not spiritual, think of it from a scientific perspective. It's already been proven that we are energy. We are of the same matter that created the stars, right? So therefore, if I am of abundant supply, then I too am abundant, right? If I am of that abundance, I am abundant. Knowing that, we take people through that journey, we uncover what their limiting belief is, and then over time through habitual behavior, because the habitual behavior created, or the habitual programming created the initial belief. Okay, so we now need to create a new habitual pattern to reprogram that belief in order to flip it. And we do activities step by step to reprogram, whether that be daily affirmations, mantras, whether that be more eliminating limiting belief activities, whether that be reading certain books, whether that be hypnosis, whether that be guided meditations, whether that be journaling and journal prompts, scripting, vision statements, vision boards, all of these activities. And again, it's based on the person. So I connect one-on-one with the person. It's based on how you learn and absorb information and what resonates with you. So if writing doesn't resonate with you, I wouldn't get you to journal, right? It doesn't make sense. But if speaking or videos resonate with you, then we would be doing a lot more recording ourselves speaking mantras and listening to that over and over again, right? So you take people's learning mediums, like favorite learning mediums, and you apply that to the reprogramming activities that I give them. I literally gave you the tip of the iceberg just there.
I know.
And yeah, I think everyone can understand how it works. And the thing is that when I'm working with someone, it's never just that money is limited. You've got, you know, my body, and then my love life, and then my career, and then
I'm not worthy, and
worthiness, and confidence and courage, and all of this. And it could be a moment as a child where someone got up on the stage and got teased, not even a personal experience, just through observation. I then programmed my own mind unintentionally to feel that if I get up on a stage and I'm true to myself, that people are going to criticize me, right? And as a child, that's a very valid feeling and perception to have. But as an adult, that's where we need to reprogram and think, well, actually, it doesn't matter what people think. And actually, if I'm speaking my truth, that is what is important, right? And I need to fill my own cup up. And it's a whole experience. So there's a lot. And I'm not saying that any of this ever ends, because it doesn't. Because as it's like, think of an onion. As we peel one layer, which is what I call surface limiting beliefs, then there's deep-rooted shit that comes up, right? And you're like, I never knew that was an issue. Now all of a sudden it is. Like, I realized one of my issues when it came to money, because I didn't really feel like I had that many money issues. But the one thing that bothered me was tax. And I was like, where did this come from? And it's like, I was afraid that if I made more money, that I wouldn't understand how to do my taxes, right? And it was like, whoa. And that was a layer, right? Like, it was underneath a layer. So you just have to keep removing the layers until one day you're just like, well, I'm happy more of the time than I'm not. Okay. And that's always the goal for me. The goal is, people are like, well, what do I do with you, G? I'm like, honestly, at the end of this, you're going to be happy more often than you're not. And that's the wave that you want to ride in life. I want to be happy more often than I'm not. And then when I feel that I'm not happy, or the words I like to use, the language is, when I feel that I'm not in alignment. And alignment means vibrating at the same frequency of the universe. So feeling joyful, feeling like I'm connected to well-being, feeling love within me. All right. So that's in alignment. When I feel that I'm not in alignment, I can be so self-aware that I can recognize that I'm not in alignment. And then I can do all of these things that I've been taught to shift really quickly out of that feeling. So that's the work that we do.
Amazing. And I think as well as becoming aware of these sorts of limiting beliefs, and I mean, once you're aware of them, you really have to have the willingness to want to change them, because some people are really happy to stay stuck in their discomfort and stay stuck in whatever situation it is because of fear of the unknown. But once you become aware of it, and once you know that you actually want to change, you have to, I think, just make that decision and say, okay, no, I'm not letting this take control of me anymore, and I'm going to change this. And it was so crazy the other week. Our mutual friend Adriana, she always, her thing is, my life is easy, right? She wants everything in her life to be easy. And I'm sitting there talking to her like a couple of months ago, and I'm like, damn, everything in my life feels hard. Like, I wish everything in my life was as easy as Adriana's life. And then we were chatting again like a couple of weeks ago, and I'm like, fuck this, my life's not being hard anymore. I'm having an easy life from now on. And so I just decided my life was going to be easy from now on, because before, like, my business felt difficult, and like just everything just felt a little bit difficult, and it felt like there was resistance. And I was like, nah, I'm not having a hard life anymore. Everything is going to be easy. Do you know how easy my life has felt since I made that decision? It's been crazy. Like, and clients are flowing to me. I feel so in flow with my business. Like, I'm just getting so much stuff done. I've launched a new business. Like, I've co-founded a new business with someone. Like, it's been insane what I have achieved in the past 3 weeks since I made this decision. But it just takes making that decision and being aware of it in the first place. Because if I wasn't aware that I was making everything in my life harder than it had to be, then I wouldn't be able to change it, right?
Right.
It's just like having the awareness, being willing to change, and then making the decision that you're going to do it. And then it's just shifting your perspective and really just only focusing on what you want to focus on, because where your attention goes,
energy flows where your attention goes, right?
That's what I was trying to say. So I just like, I absolutely love and resonate with everything that you said, because you can reprogram these limiting beliefs if you want to, but you have to want to. That's the thing.
The way I summarize it in a sentence is your will has to match your desire. Yeah, like that is the easiest way. If your will doesn't match the weight of the desire, then you're never going to get it, right? So you have to act. You have to act. And that's why I always say, like, the universe will give you everything you need, but you have to meet the universe halfway. You have to be willing to take action. You have to be willing to receive intuitive nudges and then act on those nudges. Like, sometimes you just get that gut feeling, act on it now, right? Like, you had a thought for whatever reason, you and your business partner, the idea was planted in your mind and you chose to act on that. You could have found every reason not to do it. You could have found that there's not enough time, there's only 9 days, we can't launch a business, it's impossible, who's going to want this, whatever. But instead you were just like, no, it's going to work. I'm going to make it happen. And you did, because your will matched your desire.
Yeah.
So, and that's how you grow successful in life, not just in business, but in every area of your life, when you have that equilibrium.
Yeah, totally. And I think when your will does match your desire, if things go wrong along the way, you just push through it anyway. Like, when we were trying to set up our new business, we literally decided we were setting it up in 9 days, right? So then we couldn't create a Facebook business manager to run paid campaigns. Instagram wouldn't let us create a new account for some reason. It was blocking all of the email addresses that we had tried to sign up. There was multiple, credit cards weren't working when we were trying to sign up to all these different platforms. Then there was a freaking earthquake in Bali, like an hour before we're supposed to be launching. And we were like, what the hell? Like, literally, and we were just like, this is a sign from the universe. Like, we're an unstoppable force. We're so unstoppable that the earth is shaking because we're so powerful and crazy.
Yes.
Like, we took that as like a literal sign from the universe that the earth is shaking because our stuff that we're about to create is going to be so epic.
Shaking. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. If your will doesn't match your desire, when those challenges and when those problems come up, you're going to be like, oh, maybe we should push back the launch.
Exactly.
We won't be able to make this happen. Whereas we were just like, no, we'll make it happen. We got our friend to create an Instagram for us. And then we changed all the emails and everything afterwards. And we had to use like our parents' credit cards and like we had to do all this crazy stuff, but we just made it happen because we just knew we wanted to launch on that day and we had to make it happen. So when your will matches your desire, it's like totally an unstoppable force.
And that's a perfect example of perspective, because someone would have looked at the earthquake and been like, that's a sign I'm not meant to do this, right? And then you looked at it and said, that's a sign that I am an unshakable force. Okay. Yeah. And that is perspective. I can look outside right now and I can see it as windy, or I can see it as beautiful, sunny and shiny, right? Like I get to decide how I see the environment. That doesn't mean that the environment changes. It means how I see it changes. So you decided to be an optimist. You decided to see the positive. You decided to see your unstoppable force. And yes, you go, girl. And that's the work. That is the work. That is energy work.
I think that's because I have spent like the past 2 years working on all of these like limiting beliefs and really trying as hard as I possibly can to shift my mindset and always to look at the positive instead of the negative. If you look at the negative, it's not going to help you in any way at all. Now, I would love to sort of shift a little bit into a bit more of like how we can incorporate spirituality into business. So when I know a lot of people back home, specifically in Canberra, when we talk about spirituality, they'll think, okay, these two girls are just like hippies. And that's their perception of spirituality. I probably used to think that as well, because that's just what everyone back home thinks. And so when I moved to Bali, it really shifted my perspective. And spirituality isn't just like, okay, we love the earth and like, peace, man, like let's all be hippies and smoke weed together. It's like, it's not like that. Spirituality for me is, I guess, living in alignment with the universe and knowing that there are sort of greater forces at play that we can't necessarily see or control, or we don't really know what they are, but you can just feel that there's energies in this. There's just something out there. But I would love to hear what you sort of define spirituality as, because I'm very new to this world, but you have been in this world for a very long time. If you could share sort of how you would define spirituality.
There were a whole lot of questions that came from that, which is good. And it allows me the freedom to share my experience with spirituality. Spirituality isn't necessarily, it cannot be defined. It's like one of those undefinable words. It's like the word love, like define love. You can't define love, because love is a feeling, right? And love is a personal experience. Spirituality is the same. I can't tell you that I'm more spiritual than you because I've been in the world of spirituality longer. Like that doesn't exist. We're all spiritual beings because we are of spirit. We are of energy. Focus less on the word spirituality and more on the word energy, the word that everything is energy. I can connect to everything because everything has a frequency. Now, knowing this truth and how you can apply it to business is that if everything is energy and all I ever need to do is match the frequency of that which I desire to experience, then if I want success in business, you made a decision. Yeah. You said, right, as of now, my life is going to be easy. And because you made that decision, you changed your frequency. Okay. You decided that now I am now going to observe everything as though it was rigged in my favor. I am now going to observe everything as though it were easy. I am now going to see the positive in everything. I'm going to see everything as an opportunity, right? You changed your own frequency. Your experience, your external experience didn't change at all. All right. It was your perception of the experience. The same as in business, is if I want a business that is thriving, if I want, endless amounts of clients coming in, if I want an abundant supply of money, if I want to have incredible co-workers, if I want to employ people, if I want dream clients, if I want that, then my perception of the experience needs to change, not the experience itself. So many people are like, things aren't working out for me. Everything's hard, and then that's when they get caught up in the marketing world. Like, I have to invest X amount of money to do this and that. But if your mind's not right, if your perception of the experience isn't on the frequency that you desire, doesn't matter how much money you invest, you're still going to have a failing business, right? You need to see your business as a success now. You need to be like, I am winning now, because everything is energy. And the more often you emit the frequency of success, of positivity, of love, of abundance, of that, the more the universe will mirror it back to you, because the universe is literally a mirror. Okay. Because you will never be able to see the world the way I see it through my eyes.
No.
In fact, your experience can be so different from my experience that we're actually living two completely different worlds. We don't know. We don't know. You could see different colors than I see. I don't know. And that's also the beauty, is that my entire world is based on my perception of it. Okay. So your business is based on your perception of it. And that's why some people thrive in business and others don't. Now, our natural state of being is that of alignment, is that of well-being. We don't have to try to be in alignment, because people are like, okay, that's great, G. How do I get into alignment? How do I tune into the frequency of that which I already am, which is abundant, which is the universe, which is joy and well-being? Think of, if I had a glass now, right? If I had this and I had a cork and I was pushing the cork down, what would happen? The cork would stay at the bottom because I'm physically pushing it down. And that finger right now pushing it down is your limiting beliefs, is your lack of optimism, is all the reasons why things won't work out. It's the people talking in your ear. It's society and the pressure and all of these conditions placed upon you. That is you pushing the cork down. If I were to move my finger, what would happen to the cork? It would bounce right up. I wouldn't have to pull it up. I wouldn't have to push it. I wouldn't have to do anything other than move the resistance. If I move the resistance, I go back to my natural state of being, that which is alignment. Okay, that is us. That is us. You don't need to try and be happy. You don't need to try and be of love, because that is our natural state of being. So what we need to do is not learn to be someone else. We need to just remove the resistance. So you're not sick. You're just resisting health. All right. You're not failing. You're just resisting success.
Wow.
Right. And that, when you are aware of that, and this is why, to me, I have two rules when I work with clients. One is self-awareness. Second is alignment. Self-awareness is one. Once I'm self-aware that I'm doing this to myself, self-sabotage, I'm doing this to myself, then I regain my power. I now have the power to change. I now have the power to change the way I see my business. And it's because I now shift my perspective on my business, I'm going to see everything as an opportunity. Then I'm going to act on that belief system. So, for example, right now, let's say I had a client. So this is a hypothetical. I had a client and things aren't necessarily working out, or I don't know how to sign the contract or whatever. If I'm someone that sees everything as hard and business is hard, I'm going to be like, oh my God, what do I have to do? I have to convince them. I have to over deliver. I have to this, I have to that. If my perspective shifts slightly and I'm like, actually, everything's rigged in my favor. What is for me won't pass me by. I am in alignment, so therefore I attract dream clients. If this client's meant to be, then it will all work out in divine timing, okay? We need to see ourselves as the ones just sit there, and my energy will attract. So therefore, because of that perspective shift, chances are, if that client is my dream client, all of a sudden they will have a change of heart, and they'll be like, gee, where are the contracts? I want to sign them. That's what happens. And it happens to me all the time. When I'm pushing too hard, that is me coming from a place of lack. That is me acting from a place that is not in alignment. Okay. And therefore, it's like you're running on a treadmill. You're running nowhere fast. So instead, get off the damn treadmill, find a way to feel like you're connected to the vibration of the universe. So feel like you're in alignment. And you can do that by doing things that bring you joy. Do the things that bring you joy. And when you're feeling happy again, then go back and make a decision. Don't make the decision when you're angry, frustrated, in doubt, questioning, fearful, because your decision will have been birthed from those feelings. So instead, we need to be like, actually, you know what? I am feeling frustrated. I acknowledge that. I'm self-aware of that. Let me pull myself out of the situation. Let me get myself into a high vibrational frequency, that which is of alignment. And then I can make a decision from that place. And then that decision is going to be an intuitive decision, because I'm in a good feeling state. So therefore, I'm listening to the intuitive nudges that are coming from the universe, okay? Because I'm not doing all of this self-talk, damaging self-talk. I've rested that. So the monkey mind has silenced. And now I can hear the thought. And all of a sudden, you will get an inspired idea. You know what? I should create a business where we do video editing for people. Like, that's ingenious. You know what I mean? Actually, a perfect example of an intuitive nudge that came through you was to do a competition where people can win 1 year's worth of video editing for free. Like, that's ingenious. Yeah. And that came from a place of alignment. That didn't come from a place of lack or fear.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what leads to success in business, in life. And again, apply these rules to everything. And I know a lot of your audience are business people. So yes, definitely apply this to business, but know that life is holistic. Yeah, you're not going to be successful in business and miserable in every other area. It doesn't work that way. If I'm in alignment, I'm high vibe in every area. My body is thriving. My mind is thriving. My business is thriving. My relationships are thriving. Or if one area is not, because I am in alignment in every other area of my life, so much easier for me to shift my perspective on that area too.
Yeah.
Right. And everything falls into place.
I would love to move into a little bit of tactical advice. Just to finish off for the audience. So if there is someone who they feel like they're in the business and their business feels hard and potentially their life feels hard and they think maybe they might be out of alignment, but they've never really sort of dipped their feet into these sorts of topics or ideas before, but listening to this podcast, it sort of sparked ideas in their mind that, okay, maybe something's out of alignment if everything's feeling difficult or hard or just not great. What would be the first sort of steps that you would suggest for someone who is thinking maybe something is out of alignment and they want to sort of deep dive a little bit more into that thought and figure out what is going on?
I'm a seasoned veteran when it comes to this work, yeah, but I know that a lot of people aren't. And this is a very new world to a lot of people. And I acknowledge that. And I wouldn't throw you in the deep end because that wouldn't make any sense and it wouldn't resonate with people. So the first thing I would say is this, and a lot of people who have heard of like the law of attraction would have heard the term thoughts become things. All right. And most people look at that and they're like, no, they don't. Thoughts don't become things. You need to put all of these pieces together in order for thoughts to become things. But the more appropriate thing to say is that thoughts create beliefs. Yeah. And beliefs create feelings and feelings create vibration. And your vibrational offering is what attracts something that matches the frequency of that vibration and therefore creating a physical thing. Okay. And that physical thing isn't something that doesn't already exist because as soon as it's created as a frequency, I can tune into the frequency and come to the realization of it. Okay. So you're not creating something out of nothing. You're creating something out of energy because the thought was the initial frequency. Now that I've explained that, it's important to note that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them. And that's where people get lost in business. And that's the first piece of advice I would give to someone, that stop thinking you're your thoughts. Stop thinking that everything is a byproduct of your thoughts because you are not your thoughts. You are the observer of them, right? You are looking at your thoughts. As soon as I'm aware that I'm the observer of my thoughts, then I get to take the power back. And I'm going to be like, okay, well, is that thought serving me? And this is the first piece of homework I would give to anyone. Write down on a piece of paper, how can I serve more? How can I love more? How can I give more? Or is this serving me? So you take a thought that's not feeling that good and you write it on a piece of paper and you write, is this serving me? And write all the ways in which it has served you, because you wouldn't think a thought if it didn't serve you in some way. Like for example, going back to the original example of money is limited. And you could even apply this to business because a lot of people spend in business as though money was limited. How has this thought served me? Well, it's served me because it's kept me safe. It's kept me in my comfort zone. It's kept me from overspending. It's kept me from measuring everything, from counting everything, all right? From learning skills because I didn't want to outsource. Yeah, so it's definitely served you and we're not taking away that, all right? It's served us. But now, how is it no longer serving me? Well, it's not letting me grow. It's not letting me expand my business. It's not letting me to connect to more people. It's not allowing me to feel abundant and prosperous. It's not allowing me to travel because it's keeping me confined because I have to be physically here. So that's how we evolve. Okay, so we take it, we observe it, we acknowledge that it served us and we're grateful for it. So again, gratitude is a huge part of the energy work. We're grateful for it. The thoughts, even the limiting thoughts, have served us. And it's fine. We acknowledge that. But now I'm ready for more. And then you match the will to the desire. All right. So you write your journal entry. How can I serve more? And that could mean, well, I need to step up. Because again, remember how I said at the beginning that prayers are answered through you. Okay. And again, prayers, it doesn't matter whether you call it a prayer or someone's desire or request. It doesn't matter. All right. you have a message that you have to deliver, whether that be creating a physical product. Like someone thought of the idea to put crystals in a bottle and sell them, all right? This was someone's creative expression. And think of the ripple effect of every person that owns this, that when they hold it, it's so important and it brings them so much love and joy and amplification of who they really are. So you are doing a disservice to others if you do not serve more. So that's the first thing I would say, journal entry it out. If beyond that there's so much more deeper, because as you do this, that's very entry level. Once you do this, you're aware that there's more and more and more deep down. That's when you can invest in this personal development world. Like this is when you say, I need to speak to someone like Taylor because she's a business coach, right? Like she's a marketing consultant. She can help me through this. Or, you know, it's deeper than that I need like a mindset coach, or I need a spiritual teacher, or I need whatever. You read books. It's literally like people that go to the gym one time and think that their entire body is going to change. This work doesn't happen overnight, right? Like you're not going to see the shift overnight. You need to immerse yourself, read the books, watch the YouTube videos, listen to the podcast, take notes when you listen to this podcast and see what resonates with you and what you can apply. Start journaling, start scripting, start visualizing. Like a creative visualization practice is so powerful. So imagine right now that I'm in a business, as you said, like with that example, someone's feeling a little bit off. Instead, what you focus on expands. So if I'm focusing on everything being off, then that is what I'm projecting. That's what I'm creating. Instead, I'm going to spend 3 minutes. Okay. 3 minutes. I'm going to sit here 180 seconds and I'm going to think of the experience that I do desire. And I'm going to picture it in my mind like it was a mini movie. Okay, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would that smell like? Who would be with me? What sort of money would I be handling? What sort of clients would I be working with? What sort of people would be surrounding me? Would I be traveling? What decisions would I be making? If I were the CEO, what decisions would I be making? Would I be making decisions based on fear, or would I be making decisions that come with conviction? Yeah. And that's why when I notice a lot of people when I do speak, and you've said this to me as well, is that I speak with conviction. And that's because I believe what I say. You don't need to believe me. You need to believe that I believe me. That's it. So in every person listening right now who's in business, no one is going to value your work more than you do. Period. Nobody. Yeah. So if you don't value your own work, that's step one. Look at your work. Look at your work and be like, how can I love this more? All right. Again, how can I serve more? How can I love this more? How can I step it up a notch? How can I give more? And then value it so damn much that when you say to someone it's a $2,000 bill, you say it with so much conviction and clarity, they're like, yes, ma'am. And they pass the money over. Right. And that's because you have stepped up for them. I will show up for you, but you have to show up for yourself. That's the beginning. That's the work. And the other thing I would say, one of my number one recommendations, even if you're brand new, is meditation. Meditation has changed my life. Silencing the monkey mind, because it's the monkey mind that's the internal chatter, always telling us we're not good enough, the limiting belief, the people, the pressure. You know, like it's like when you tell a friend an outrageous idea you have and they're like, that's never going to work. And you're just like, damn, like that hurt my heart. That hurt my heart. But maybe they're telling the truth. Maybe it's not going to work. Maybe it's a crazy idea. We need to silence that shit. So you just take a moment at the beginning, do micro meditation. So 60 seconds where I just close my eyes, I focus on my breath, inhalations, exhalations, pauses at the top, and you'll get better and better and better. Habitual behavior is everything. Habit by habit, right? Like, so every day you go to the gym. Why? Because you know that the consistent exposure and that your body has to physical activity is going to be good for your vessel. That's why. Why do you continue eating healthy? Because you know that continual exposure to healthy, high vibrational foods is going to nourish your vessel, right? We do all of this habitually. The same is with our mindset. All right. If you want to shift your mindset, if you want your business to succeed, if you want to change your thought pattern, then you need habitual activities. So meditation every day. Start small, and over time you can do an hour meditation a day where you just silence the monkey mind. You stop the internal chatter, and again, that gets you into alignment real quick, because then post meditation, I'm so clear. I'm not thinking negative. I'm not worried. I'm not fearful. I'm not full of doubt. I can then make a positive business decision with complete conviction from a place of alignment, and that's how you birth success.
I totally resonate with that, because literally So I can meditate for about 20 minutes is what my threshold at the moment. It's obviously, I'm always trying to improve it. When I first moved to Bali, it was like 5 minutes. Now it's up to 20. And it's funny because on the days when I feel like, I've got so much to do, I don't really have 20 minutes in the morning that I want to meditate. I would rather go, because I go to the beach and meditate. So I'm always thinking like, I'd rather just go home and start working. And I think it's on those days that I need the meditation the most. And it's on those days that I have the best meditations and I come up with the most epic ideas. Like I literally had that thought this morning before I went. I'm like, I've got so much to do. I'm recording a podcast with G today. Like I want to make sure I get everything done. And then I was like, no, okay, I need to go. I have to do it. I need to meditate. Went to the beach and I like created this whole new online course program that I want to launch next year while I was meditating this morning. And I was like, yes, I'm so glad I came to meditate, because if it didn't go, I might not have had that download I might not have had that thought. So it's so important, guys, especially the days when you feel like, no, I can't meditate today. Those are the days that you need to meditate the most out of any of the days.
So you can find me, one of my favorite platforms to use is Instagram at GLMGEE, and also at GregoriaChrysotellus.com. I currently have an incredible program that would be perfect for someone who is newer to the spiritual world, in business or not in business would be fine. It works for everyone. It's a course called Allow More, and it's about allowing more of the thoughts, feelings, and experiences you desire into your physical experience, into your reality. All of this is free advice, but it's life-changing advice. It's not just like, I hear it and it's great. It's actually life-changing advice. And it wasn't until I learned how to model people I really admired that my life shifted as well. So take what you need. And I truly believe what you need to take from this, you will. The right people are listening to this. So if you're here right now, know that you're supposed to be here. If you're listening to this, I appreciate you and I'm sending you so much love. And I know that whatever you needed from this, you will receive in an abundance. So I love you. Thank you, Taylor, again. This has been amazing. I'm so high vibe now. I need to
so am I. Guys, I can't wipe the smile off my face because I'm just actually so happy right now. Wasn't that episode just absolutely epic? I love listening to everything that G has to say. I hope that you feel the same way, because I truly feel like it provided so much value. So if you do feel the same way, please feel free to hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you get weekly notifications as to when I put out more amazing content like this. And if you feel like I could potentially support you with some coaching or taking you through or explaining any questions that you may have about the episode, please feel free to shoot me an email, coachtaylorvictoria@gmail.com. I can help you out with absolutely anything that you might need. And until the next episode, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.